What's up, guys? My name's JD Urso, and we're here with the Changing Leagues Keeping Dreams podcast. I'm here with my co-host, Seaver King.
How we doing?
And today is episode 1 of a series that we hope to continue for a while throughout the entire season. And just to give you guys a little bit of background on me and Seaver, we both were Division II athletes last year. I was at the University of Tampa. Seaver was at Wingate. And two perennial Division IIs, really, Seaver. Wingate's last national title was 2021. Am I correct on that?
Yep.
I was
Correct.
actually there for that. We got knocked out the same day that they won. We were in that semifinal game, and we got beat by Central Missouri, and Wingate goes on to win. So coming from two Division II programs that have won national championships in the past 5 years, so definitely have been playing some respected ball. So today, we'll start the conversation a little bit on how we are, where we're at now, and, kind of the process to start. So the first question I have for you, Seaver, so take me through your journey of ending up at Wingate. And obviously, you have – your name's been probably growing among the fastest of anyone in the country. So kind of take this back to where it all started for you.
Yeah, I would just what you classify as a late bloomer. So I only had one offer out of high school. That was Wingate through my high school head coach, Alan Osborne. He actually coached there a while back while I was in high school. So that was my only connection with Coach Gregory and the staff up there. So I committed before my senior year. Just kind of wanted to go play and ball and just be able to have the opportunity to play. Went up there, had a pretty good fall, kind of inserted my name in the conversation of being able to play. And then, a couple weekends I was playing here and there, and then we played Newberry. You know about Newberry. They're just they're our biggest rivals, and they're just kind of like pesky, just kind of like find a way to win games, stuff like that. And I didn't get to play at all that series, and I showed visual frustration to my coach. Probably not the best idea, but, looking back at it, it worked out pretty well, and he kind of came out to me and was like, hey, you're going to get your shot next week. I won SAC Player of the Week, I think Regional Player of the Week as well, and then the rest took off from there. Finished this year, freshman of the year in the SAC. We ended up hosting a regional that year. That was awesome. And then, went and played summer ball, balled out there, came back, and, the talks were, transfer. I was like, I haven't proved to anybody that, that's me yet. So then I returned for my sophomore year, had a really good year, balled out, All-American. And then, it was best for me to try to hit this portal. And, I'm ended up at Wake Forest here, and I couldn't be happier.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's honestly crazy how much we have in common. And obviously me and you, we're kind of just starting to build our friendship and get to know each other. But I was the exact same way. I went to Plant High School here in Tampa, Florida, and Plant is a powerhouse. Like, they're literally sending someone to Florida every year, it feels like. And I was a kid who literally couldn't get a phone call. I answered one phone call, and it was from Coach Beckman at St. Pete Junior College, and literally was made with the decision, like, do I want to play baseball or not to play baseball? And so I ended up committing to that JUCO. And throughout my senior year of high school baseball, I was really starting to progress, late bloomer, just like yourself. And that's where I'm sitting in my dad's ear, like, bro, you sure you don't want me to come play for you? Like, I am very down to come play for you if you want me. And he's telling me, like, we don't think you're ready yet. Keep working. And finally, I just hit that level where he was like, come on. And so it was funny because we actually, we were introduced through Aiden Brown, who was my teammate at Tampa for a few years. And I had saw on the WBT Instagram account, Seaver King. And I'm like, first thought is like, wow, that is a baseball name if I ever heard one right there. Like, damn, I wish my name was Seaver King, you know what I mean? And so I look you up, I'm like, bro, this guy, who is he? He is balling. And so we started to communicate a little bit. And I think I'd even kind of tested the waters with you a little bit, like, bro, you transferring. You got to be transferring, right?
Yeah.
And so just so we can kind of tell the world a little bit about Division II baseball, it is very good baseball. Like, we both played in Cape Cod, and we both had success in Cape Cod. Obviously, this past summer, I go and break my face, so I don't even really get to play there this past summer. But 2 summers ago, had a decent showing. But really, the story for Division II ball is just not enough eyeballs on it. Would you agree?
100%. I think that the transition to Division II to Division II or Division I, everybody's like, the pitching is just so much different. Like, they're going to struggle or whatever. But I think the biggest difference between Division II, Division I pitching isn't really velo. You're going to see velo
Hmm.
everywhere. Like there's guys who throw hard, but it's the secondary stuff, and I think that's a big thing, big adjustment for me. That getting acclimated this summer with Team USA and up in Harwich and the Cape and all this stuff. I feel like it's super preparing, but Division II baseball is not. You think is a down as Tier One. I like to say that I would say the top 10 Division II teams would give some mid majors a run for their money. So
Yeah, absolutely. And like you're saying, for sure. I mean, we're both gonna find out what we're dealing with at D1. Obviously, you've played for Team USA in the Cape, so we know what we're getting into. But the thing with D2 is we might be facing 90-91, but when they're calling that white line away, that at bat becomes a little
yeah,
bit tougher. And so I'm excited to kind of have the elements of the game be a little bit more prioritized for a high level of baseball, because that was one thing that I was frustrated with Division II baseball. One thing in particular that I just can't really seem to understand is how in the regional tournament does not every team have the same path to the super regional tournament. Like I'm sitting here in the South region playing for Tampa, and we have to win 3 games to get to the super regional, but the number one team in the country, North Greenville, only has to win 2. And I'm sitting there like, we can't go to March Madness with Duke only having to play 3 games and then Kentucky's got to play 4. Like at some point they have to, set the standards. Like this is good baseball. We're going to treat it as such. And it unfortunately has opened up the window where, I mean, I must have saw, close to 10 Division II guys going to D1 powerhouses. We had me and yourself. I know Luke Napleton from Quincy moved his way up. I know there was a fella from California moving his way up, and it's starting to be a common theme. And as we both have learned, the process is, I mean, it's something that you literally cannot prepare for because it is that unpredictable. I mean, you're waking
yeah.
up to Instagram DMs, Twitter DMs, phone calls, text messages, friends of friends of friends trying to bring you to their school. So take me through that day that, you decided I'm going to put that name in the portal. And, you don't got to go too much in detail, but just kind of going through the thoughts. I know it was, a bit overwhelming for both of us.
Yeah. So funny story. I kind of went the impression that when I put my name in the portal, I'd have to wait till like the Division I day. I don't remember the date or whatever. So I was prepared, to be at home, be in the portal for a week or two, just being able to just chill out. And I remember getting the email saying, "Hey, you're in the portal," and I was about to take a nap actually. And then my phone rings. I don't think it was like 2 p.m. that afternoon. And then I just remember being on the phone till 12 p.m. that night and just kind of like just sitting at my desk, just like, holy crap, like what did I just get myself into? But I think like with my parents and coaches and stuff, they did a great job of just kind of like not necessarily letting me do my thing, but like I think I had a pretty good grasp on what I wanted in a program and stuff like that. But yeah, I ended up narrowing my schools down in South Carolina and North Carolina and then Wake Forest, and Billy, Coach Moose, Coach Walt, all those guys, made the decision super easy. Just had to get on campus. I came up for my visit on the way up to the Cape, actually committed on the spot, and I'm here. Starting team practice on Saturday, and I'm super excited.
Yeah, heck yeah, man. And I actually just saw that Wake Forest was basically named the winner of the transfer portal. And I think you probably have a big impact on that award there. And another name, obviously, that's huge for you guys is Chase Burns. And so, to bring in 2 players like that to a team that was already competing for a national championship, I mean, I'm not sure any team in the ACC is going to have a bigger target on their back. And for me personally, I'm taking my talents over to the University of Miami, headed down south a little bit, which I'm not too positive. We're both learning how this works, but I assume that means we're matching up eventually, right?
Yeah, I
Uh,
think it'll be the AC tournament. I think we're talking schedules. I don't think we play each other in the regular season,
Oh,
unfortunately.
really? So
But
we're going to see each other in the ACC tournament, which is
yeah,
actually funny because we're like keep crossing paths, but we're a quick little backstory. So I get to Cape Cod and I'm on the transfer portal, and what everybody's telling me is like, you're coming from a Division II school. We love your numbers. We need more video. We need our eyes on you. So I'm like, bet I'll head to Cape Cod. Play in front of you guys. Game 1, I take a bad hop off the face. And right away, I knew it broke because I lost feeling in all of my upper teeth up here. And another thing, I could literally feel the bone moving in my face. And of course, game 2 of the season versus Harwich, bro. It's like I'm
Yep.
ducking you or something, bro. I just can't get on the field against you. But
Yeah.
it's gonna happen. It's gonna be happening
100%.
soon, and it's gonna be fun. But we're gonna get into next episode a little bit more when we have Mr. Caglione on. But take me through that, the experience with Team USA a little bit, going to the tryout, and maybe a little bit of expectations, and just take us through what was really on your mind at that point in time. And not to mention, you're only
Yeah.
hitting like 450 leaving the Cape at that point, right? I mean,
Yeah. So I went up to my visit at Wake actually, and I was in the room with a bunch of guys, and Coach Walt comes in and goes, "I have news to tell everybody or whatever." And he told Michael Massey, who's actually one of my roommates, saying, "Hey, you're invited to Team USA." And then he also told me, he's like, "You're on the short list." So I was like, all right, like, kind of typical my story, like still doubted. Nobody still was like all in on
mhm.
you or whatever. So like, I just kind of put it in my back pocket, like it's a possibility, probably not going to happen, whatever. Get up to the Cape, play pretty well. Just, singles, just, getting on base, stuff like that. And then there was a stretch where I went like 9 for 10 in 2 games. And then literally the next day we were hitting BP and I get a call from Eric Campbell. And I was like, what in the world? So literally I got called on 2 days notice. The call was on Wednesday and my flight was on Friday. So
Dang.
went up there. And then obviously, you're playing with the top guys in the country, Jack, Charlie Condon, all these guys. And you get there and you're like, holy, like, you expect to be starstruck kind of. Get there and it's like, they're just any other dudes. They might have a big name, but it's just, they're just college guys. And, we kind of got really close in the tryouts and stuff. I really only packed 3 days of clothes because I didn't really have high expectations given I was given short notice, stuff like that. So I just went up there, played how I usually play. And in the exit meeting, they're like, "Hey, we want you on the team." And I was like, well, you know what? Like, appreciate the opportunity. Like, let's go play, let's go ball. And, I think the team that he assembled was awesome. All those guys, we still keep in contact to this day. So it was awesome. It was a great experience, something I'll never forget.
Yeah, I was actually tuned in live to those games because obviously me and Jack go way back, and watching that style of baseball, it was very interesting to me because obviously we've developed a style of play here that is power versus power. Our pitchers are trying
Yep.
to hit 100. We're trying to go dead center off the batter's eye, and the first team you guys matched up with was they call it the friendly series, I believe, right? Versus
Yep.
Chinese
The friendship.
Taipei, and kind of the complete opposite style of game, right? Like they are very technical. They are not throwing very hard. Dotty
Yeah.
up on the corners, playing a little bit of small ball, very defensive sound. And it was extremely interesting to watch the game. Could you feel a little bit of that on the field, like kind of seeing it's a different type of opponent than we're used to in our competition in college baseball?
Yeah, 100%. We're seeing, Friday night guys for 5 days straight in the trials,
Mm-hmm.
and then we go up again, get them, and they're, top in 85, throwing splitters, which personally I've never seen a splitter before in my life. So that was a big,
Yeah.
transition. But yeah, it was just kind of never really playing like international competition like that. It definitely took just kind of us a couple innings to just like get acclimated to playing with each other. Obviously, it was a new team, and then just being able to just go out and play. I think the biggest thing for us was just going out and having fun at that point because the friendship series we're not really playing for much, but you want to win and all those things. So we were really trying to tune up for Japan for that series because we knew they would play similar baseball, but obviously be a little bit more high powered. So I would say that was kind of what our mindset was going into that series.
Yeah. And we'll wrap up here soon. But my last question for you, I got to know how you're feeling. You hit that ball down the first base line, right? It's got extra bases written all over it. I see my
Yeah.
boy getting up to speed. He's flying. And all of a sudden, second base, did it move on us? What happened there?
Yeah, so Malcolm Moore, catcher at Stanford, he was on first base, and I hit it down the line, and he kind of got a bad read on it. So he's hauling to get to score here, and I'm coming around second base, and he kind of hasn't even touched third base yet. So I'm trying to pick up my third base coach, seeing if I can even come to third or not. And I look up and he sends him, and I'm like, all right, well, I felt like I was past second base, so I kind of like clipped it with my foot to even, be able to keep going and just ate it. But thankfully, I was able to get up and get to third. But that was a fun moment. Drew Beam, one of my good friends from that team, he kind of posted on his Instagram, so we kind of have a chuckle about that every once in a while. But yeah, that was kind of what happened there. Nothing too crazy. I mean, it was just in the game. I think playing maybe a little bit too fast in that moment, but it happens.
Hey, it happens, bro. I mean, it's only natural. You put Team USA on your chest and you're going for third. I mean, the game speeds up on us a little bit, right?
Yep,
But
yep,
awesome hopping on here with you today, dude. Obviously, we're
yep.
gonna keep this thing rolling. Me and you are gonna be the common theme here, and excited to show the world who we're gonna bring on because I think the list of guests are really gonna impress some people. So it's been real,
100%.
man. Episode 1. Excited to see you next Thursday.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you guys.
Yes, sir.